C3.ai stock is crashing. Ticker symbol AI is down from a January high of $144. Should I start a position now, freak out and sell, or buy the dip? This is what many of you are asking, so let's go and look at C3.ai and decide. In the past, I spent years working with Fortune 500 CFOs to help them determine where they were making money, and now use this knowledge to dig into C3.ai's details. Stick around to the end of this video and I'll share my current opinion. The slide here shows what I review before making an investment. We will cover some of this today, but this is not financial advice and for entertainment only. Hi investing friends, this is Lynn and welcome back. So let's go and review C3.ai. First, a friendly reminder that if you enjoy today's video, to hit the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. Let's talk about what's great about C3.ai. I am fascinated by this stock. We know that leveraging AI in business has huge potential. According to McKinsey, about 66% of companies using AI report that it has boosted the revenues, while 40% say it has reduced their costs. The AI boost all depends upon a deployment done right. Companies that do a good job leveraging AI have seen revenue increase by more than 10%, while some companies are using AI to cut costs by more than 20%. C3.ai has pioneered a model-driven architecture, which represents a shift in AI application development process. This model-driven approach will now also enable mid and small-sized companies to leverage the power of AI. C3.ai has created highly scalable AI models and allows customers to build their own models by simply editing and stacking them one on top of the other. C3.ai stacks enable lower operating costs and greater agility. I believe this scalable AI model gives C3.ai a big competitive advantage. In the recent financial report, C3.ai supports the development of machine learning algorithms, data security, and cybersecurity technologies to address and advance solutions related to predictive analytics, resilient operations under faults and cyber attack, and assured system security. C3.ai DTI research is engaged in analyzing new business operation models, developing methods for organizational change management, developing advanced methods of protecting privacy, and advancing dialogue related to the ethical implications of AI. The company is bringing new product families to market, such as C3.ai CRM, powered by Microsoft Dynamics 365 and Adobe Experience Cloud, that we believe will develop into substantial recurring revenue streams for C3.ai. Most of C3's customers have tried and failed at developing AI on their own, sometimes at great expense, before turning to C3 for their solution. C3 stated that they are unaware of any end-to-end enterprise AI development platforms that are directly competitive with their product suite. The commercial product offerings that were formerly positioned as functionally equivalent to C3.ai were GE Predix and IBM Watson, both multi-billion-dollar software engineering efforts backed by massive promotional campaigns. However, now C3 does not encounter them in competitive situations. But first, before we continue, if you are enjoying this video, if you could give it a thumbs up in return for all my efforts, it would be greatly appreciated. And while you're at it, subscribe for more videos like this one. C3 has made a name for themselves in developing strong customer alliances and using these relationships to rapidly expand their business. In 2019, they formed a strategic alliance with Baker Hughes, a $24 billion oil and gas services company. Baker Hughes has standardized on C3.ai for all internal use AI applications. Together, they are now jointly marketing and selling enterprise AI solutions to address the upstream, midstream, and downstream activity to oil and gas companies globally. C3.ai is also leveraging the power of Baker Hughes' 12,000 person sales organization. This is an enormous sales presence. In September 2020, C3 entered into a strategic alliance with FIS Financial Services, a $10.3 billion technology provider to the global financial services industry, whose systems process 75 billion transactions per year worth $9 trillion. This alliance leverages C3's anti-money laundering and C3.ai Securities lending optimization for FIS Financial Services businesses. In March 2021, C3 announced a strategic alliance with Infor, an ERP technology cloud leader. Infor plans to market, license, and deploy C3 pre-built solutions to Infor customers under the Infor brand, Infor, and C3 expects to leverage both companies' existing digital portfolios to collaborate integrated enterprises, AI applications that can support specific industry needs. The initial focus will be on predictive maintenance surrounding Internet of Things, or IoT, systems. The goal is to provide a more proactive and accurate maintenance strategy within Infor's enterprise asset management solution. C3.ai has announced global alliances with AWS, Intel, and Microsoft to jointly market, sell, and service combined offerings across industry verticals. This is truly great news. So you can see that C3 has been busy building impressive alliances that should pay off big in the future. Industry analysts estimate that organizations will invest $170 billion annually in digital transformation software by 2024. According to a leading consulting firm, companies will generate $13 trillion annually in added value from the use of these new technologies. This is the fastest growing enterprise software market in history and represents an entire replacement market for enterprise application software. C3.ai has this to say about the competition. Today, the market is awash in AI platforms that claim they are solutions that design, develop, provision, and operate complete enterprise AI applications, including Cassandra, Cloudera, DataStax, AWS, IoT, and Hadoop, also AWS, Azure, and Google, do offer elastic cloud computing platforms. In addition, each includes innovative libraries of microservices that can be used for data aggregation, ETL, queuing, data streaming, MapReduce, continuous analytics processing, machine learning services, data visualization, and more. They all appear to do the same thing, and they all appear to provide a complete enterprise AI platform. While these products are useful, C3 believes in reality that none of these products include the scope of utility necessary to develop and operate an enterprise AI or IoT application. Each address only a part of the problem that's required to develop and deploy an enterprise AI or IoT application. Now, to help us understand exactly how C3 is doing and growing, we need to look at their financials. Keep in mind that C3.ai is a new stock that just went public on December 8th, 2020. Stocks at this stage are rarely profitable, but I like to see an increase in revenues and cash raised from their own operations. This C3.ai income slide shows a nice increase in revenues from 2019 through April of 2021, also with a great increase in gross profits. But there are many ways in which a company is allowed to massage these numbers within current financial reporting practices guidelines. So it's important to look at the free cash flow, which is the cash that has been raised by company's own operations minus related expenses. They give a much clearer picture into a company's financial health. You can see here that cash flow increased from 2019 through 2020, but in 2021 slid back down to lower than it was 2 years ago. This FinViz slide shows shows that institutions own close to 42% of C3AI's shares, but that this number used to be 10% higher. Institutional owners shows that fund managers believe in this stock's future. Insiders own 30% of the stock, which is a reasonable amount. Their gross margin is huge, 75%, which is higher than 78% of other companies in the software industry. This means that C3 has more cash to spend on business operations as compared to its peers. This is mainly due to their subscription model, which is a very profitable way to provide software. On a positive note, C3 sales have increased 25% quarter over quarter. You can see here that C3I's short float is a moderate amount at 7.56%, but their overall float is a concern at 76 million, which means that 69% of their shares are available for purchases. Clearly, it would take a huge number of purchases, likely from institutions, to cause the stock to run up in price. Now, let's look at analyst forecasts for the stock. In the last 3 months, this tip reg slide shows that 7 ranked analysts set 12-month price targets for AI. The average price target among the analysts is $101.57. This has all looked really great at first, until I, as usual, dug deeper into the individual analyst forecasts for this stock. You can see here the analysts recommending a buy for C3AI stock all have a negative average return related to their forecast price targets for the stock. This next slide lists the only 2 analysts that have provided targets that have meant a positive return for an investment in C3AI. Anjit Singh has had an average 27% return, and Mark Murphy has had an average 46% return on his recommendations. Both of them are recommending a sell for the C3AI. JP Morgan analyst Mark Murphy stated, "We continue to see unfavorable risk reward at current levels given the relatively poor growth plus margin profile, vertical and customer concentration, and the potentially lumpy bookings cadence." This Insider Monkey article that just came out on July 13th explained that stocks that are heavily bought by hedge funds historically outperformed the market. They explained that investors should be aware of a current decrease in support from the world's most elite money managers. 10 hedge funds have pulled out of C3AI since the 2020 fourth quarter. So, with all this said, personally, I am fascinated by C3AI and looking to invest in the stock at some point. But for now, I will watch for the stock to pull back further and their results to improve, indicating that it is a good time to begin my investment. If you currently have a position in this stock, I'd love to hear if you plan to buy the dip, continue to hold, or sell. Now, go here to review our original deep dive into C3AI.